China has spy base in Cuba from at least 2019, US confirms. US blacklists 2 Chinese entities for alleged role in Uighur abuse. China's one-child birth rate drops to 0.5. Will this be China's last generation? Farm animals and crops dying under scorching and extreme weather conditions in China. The White House confirmed on June 10th there are Chinese spy facilities in Cuba, claiming they have been there since at least 2019, and that Beijing is still pushing to expand them and to upgrade its intelligence gathering capabilities. As reported by the New York Times, a US senior administration official, speaking on condition of anonymity to discuss sensitive intelligence, said the spy facility was an issue that the Biden administration had inherited from former President Donald J. Trump. According to the official, after Biden took office, his administration was briefed about the base in Cuba and Beijing's plans to build similar facilities worldwide. Bloomberg reported that China has long maintained spy facilities in Cuba, and that they were expanded in 2019. Days earlier, the White House had denied a Wall Street Journal report claiming that China and Cuba had reached a secret deal to establish an intelligence facility on the island. According to the administration, there hasn't been a new arrangement, and the facilities have been in use for a long time. As reported by Bloomberg, White House National Security Council spokesman John Kirby said on June 8th that he had seen the report, and it was not accurate. The response on June 10th is an acknowledgement that key parts of the story were accurate. However, the official said the original article still doesn't reflect the administration's position on the situation. The White House attempted to justify its denial in the statement by claiming that Chinese efforts to increase spying capacity in Cuba and elsewhere are a continuing problem, not a new development. The official said the administration had redoubled efforts to counteract China's attempt to establish intelligence outposts, and has spoken with the government considering hosting Chinese facilities. The US believes it has slowed down China's efforts to establish similar facilities, while remaining concerned about Beijing's activities. China will keep pushing to expand its presence in Cuba, and the US will work to deter that.
2 new Chinese corporations have been blacklisted for their alleged involvement in Beijing's treatment of the minority Uighur group. The U.S. Homeland Security Department said on June 9th that the Uighur Forced Labor Prevention Act entity list would include Chinese printer producer 9-Star and chemical firm Xinjiang Zhongtai Chemical. Starting June 19th, products from the 2 companies would be restricted from entering the U.S. over their potential links to forced labor. 8 subsidiaries of 9-Star would also be affected. Secretary of Homeland Security Alejandro Mayorkas said this administration is committed to eradicating forced labor from U.S. supply chains and will do so while facilitating legitimate trade and strengthening the U.S. economy. Senator Marco Rubio, however, viewed that Washington could do further, referring to the announcement on June 9th as just a drop in the bucket. According to Reuters, he said, the Biden administration's current case-by-case approach is giving a free pass to many companies still profiting from slave labor. The DHS said the UFLPA list has now conveyed 22 companies. The department added that it has looked into over $1.3 billion worth of goods, probably made with forced labor almost a year after the bill was enacted. According to recent statistics from the Chinese government, from 2019 to 2022, China's one-child birth rate dropped from 0.7 to 0.5. It means every 2 couples have only 1 child. Besides, the age of women giving birth has also increased from 26.4 to 27.4. Some Chinese netizens said this confirmed that the famous saying, "This is our last generation," circulated during the Shanghai lockdown is about to come true. During the previous lockdown in Shanghai, a man who had tested positive for COVID-19 was still forced to quarantine by police. When he refused, the police threatened the 3 generations of his family would be affected if he didn't go, but the man firmly replied, "Then this is our last generation. Thank you." A netizen posted on Weibo, "This is our last generation," is a thorough declaration. Either this life ends with our generation or we end with this life. Other netizens in turn posted the reasons why they don't want to have children. Just look at the current society. What's the point of giving birth? To suffer? You have to maintain a living, buy a house, and pay school fees for your children. The authorities don't guarantee employment and income for women who have children, as well as don't pay for childcare. Then why should we have children? The one-child birth rate is 0.5, and basically every two couples have only one child. It's estimated to be the lowest birth rate in human history. The engagement of men and women and marriage are originally for the purpose of procreation, but the modern post-90s Chinese have redefined it to childless marriage. Some netizens directly pointed out that this is the result of the Chinese regime's family planning for decades. In the past, people having too many children were fined, laid off, or even insulted. After a long time, it naturally created the idea that having children is a mistake and a crime. This mindset is very difficult to change. In order to increase the birth rate, it is necessary to increase the salary and bonus, to treat the parents who bear children as heroes, and to give spiritual and material rewards. Only after that, people's mindset will be able to change. Many areas in China have recently experienced record high temperatures and heavy rainfall, adversely affecting crops and livestock and raising concerns about China's food security. In the summer of 2022, China experienced the worst heat wave and drought in decades, causing widespread power shortages and disrupting food and industrial supply chains. This year, the heat arrived even earlier than last year, causing pigs and fish to die from the extreme heat. Meanwhile, there are concerns that drought could hit the Yangtze River Basin, China's main rice-producing region, in the coming months. A farm employee in Nantong Town, Jiangsu Province, told Jimu News that the power switch at his farm was usually cut off at midnight and all fans stopped working, causing many pigs to die from heat exposure. In addition, the intense heat wave has also hit many carp and rice fields in southwestern Guangxi. Some locals said due to high temperatures and overheated field water, carp raised in rice fields were burnt to death. Dozens of Chinese cities have experienced record heat in recent days. The highest temperature in Yunnan Province, Sichuan, and other places exceeded 40 degrees Celsius. Many places have issued high-temperature warning signals. Extreme weather conditions have also affected China's largest wheat-growing region. Last month, just days before the wheat harvest season, heavy rain hit Henan Province, causing the wheat to germinate or become moldy. A recent forecast from China's National Climate Center said that drought, flood, heavy rainfall, heat radiation, and other extreme weather phenomena will occur frequently from May to September. According to CNN, Sheng Xia, a chief agricultural analyst for CITIC Securities, said extreme weather such as drought and floods may disrupt the food production order and bring more uncertainties to the supply of food and oil. He warned that food security is under increasing threat this year due to the El Niño phenomenon. El Niño is a natural phenomenon in the tropical Pacific region that brings warmer than average temperatures. He said, for China, the El Niño phenomenon will easily lead to increased climate uncertainty in the Yangtze River Basin, causing flooding in the south and drought in the north, and cold summer in the northeast.